Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. This is PjtalksPodcast. I am your host. You can call me Mr. Beard. Everybody knows who I am, but so what? So, I know it's been a while. I am back. At least I'm trying to get back on a more consistent base with recording new episodes every chance I get. And so, here we go. Um, in spite of recent activities and recent events, I'd just like to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and a moment of silence, please. Let's, what do you say, for the great Kobe Bryant, who has passed away January 26th, a Sunday morning. Oh man, it just sucks. So, without further ado, let's a moment of silence, at least 24 seconds for the great 24. Amen. Talk about reality hitting you in the face. I know I'm just a fan of Kobe Bryant. I am a outside spectator. But my man was a cultural icon. Uh, it really hit me hard, and there's not much I have to say. Just well, at least there's not much I have to say that you guys don't already know or feel. And if you have no type of no way to relate, then that's okay. But basketball fans, Kobe Bryant fans, Laker fans, we feel this. And it's surprising, like I said, because he was almost like a celebrity. And for me to feel like that for a celebrity, I remember when Paul Walker passed. I mean, God bless his soul. It it struck me, but it was more like, man, that sucks. You know, he looked like such a good dude. He was doing so much. The movies he was a part of, Fast and the Furious, the very first one, is what shaped my whole high school uh, experience with my best friends and my friends, and going to meetings with cars, with my car when I first got it. You know, it's and experiencing that kind of environment, all because we shared the same passion for our cars because of that one movie that sparked it all up. You know, and but this felt different, man. Like I couldn't help myself but to shed a tear. Um, it was almost like I knew the man, you know, personally, and I guess it all comes down to the moments that he gave us, the basketball moments and the beautiful experiences and the ups and downs. And as a fan, when the Lakers were down and you were down with them, and when they lost, we lost. But when they won, we won, and when we got to see him do what he did on the basketball court, the .6 shots, the whatever .4, .6 to Derek Fisher inbound, like those were just magical moments, man. I'll never forget them. Uh, him going up to dunk it and kind of being able to spin his body in mid-air to switch arms into a layup, like, God, like, I remember seeing a little bit of Michael Jordan because I was way too young to enjoy him like I enjoyed Kobe. But seeing how Michael did that and then how Kobe did the same thing, it was just, it was so much better. Like, because Kobe was my Michael Jordan. I grew up with Kobe. I watched Kobe. I wore the number 8 jersey. And then I got a 24. So, rest in peace, my man. You will always be remembered. And to me, you will always be the GOAT. Sad for the families that lost their family members along the helicopter. And for his wife who lost a husband and a daughter, 13 years old. So, without moving on, I should say. I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place. I'm trying to get this thing rolling. But turning into making a turn into another subject. This whole thing, for those of you who don't know me, I'll say my quick story. I was a union carpenter, floor layer in New Jersey, and I was involved in a motorcycle accident in 2012, and I was involved in an accident. I remember headed to the hospital. I remember my thoughts were of my kids, my son who was 6-7 months old, how I did not want to leave this world and leave him here behind. Like I assured myself I needed to fight, and that's exactly what I was doing. And so, being in the hospital, losing a leg, left leg, below the knee, really humbled myself, my soul. I know I was given a reason to stay because I was pretty much a goner. And I tell you that I was a miracle. Without trying to brag or sound, insane or non-deserving. But I actually do think I was meant to stay. So, now I am a technician in a clinic where I make multiple prosthetic legs, braces, or orthotic braces, and I really feel that my passion is to do this. So this has really brought up a lot of those memories, and if you guys like to hear some more of my experience in my battle in the hospital, just let me know, in the comments or whatever. And I'll gladly get into it more into more detail. I certainly have some unique and pretty cool perspectives I'm willing to share. But on other news, talking about Donald Trump, letters of impeachment were pushed to the Senate. Now, I know a lot of you, or a lot of people, celebrated impeached. Yes, we did it. He's impeached. Donald Trump, get out of there. See you soon. Go back to where you came from. And I was just thinking, like, did you guys not learn at least a little bit of the American politics when you were in social studies in the fifth grade? Like, you know what I mean? Like, letters of impeachment are just to get the trial going in the Senate. And I think as of recently, Adam Schiff withdrew the subpoenas and letters of impeachment because they basically had a weak case. And so when it presented itself on the Senate floor, I think it was 2 days in and they just pulled the plug. So it's definitely a weird time, man, uh, where people are breaking the law and it's okay. You got these Antifa groups up in Portland, Oregon, I think it is, where there you see a lot of videos surfacing on YouTube of people attacking other people. Mind you, it's not like somebody fighting one person and other people jumping in. It's literally one person walking through a crowd or walking down the street wearing a red hat or anything that supports America or Donald Trump and getting punched in the face, kicked, slapped, tossed, grabbed, and police watching and nobody's doing anything. That is mind blowing. And it's weird. It's weird because you get it all on video. Police are watching. Nobody's arrested. It's not like you can make a quick case, open and shut, on anybody that attacks anybody. And it's almost like you hear of reports where the mayor is telling the police to stand down, and so basically let everybody run wild and hopefully it settles. It's weird, man. It's weird. You got Joe Biden um, basically admitting abuse of power. You know, I say abuse of power because that's what the charge. Some of the charges they try to put on President Trump, and so he's caught on camera asking the Ukraine government for a favor. If not, they will withhold aid. He says it straight up, just like that, and that is, in their definition, abuse of power. Where's his trial? Where's how come he hasn't been arrested? It's just a big double standard, and cable news media is really doing bad because of the fact that they choose to act naive or stupid, look the other way, whatever you may want to call it. And it's mind-boggling, man. Like I'm 31 years old, and I never thought that you would be able, like, obviously you hear of the deep state and the swamp and the president is just a puppet and blah blah blah. But you never actually, it's crazy that you don't expect to see it on TV. The way they avoid questions, the way that they avoid um, asking the obvious. And that is scary, my man. Scary for our kids. Me as a 31-year-old, the generation that's coming up, it's actually it's being a lot smarter with this. But at the same time, what what are they supposed to do if the people in power now, or the people that say that they're supposed to be the check of power in our government, do nothing? Meanwhile, they're trying to strip the Second Amendment from us, especially down in the Virginia crisis. Let me tell you something right now. If everything I say doesn't just sound like just a whole bunch of noise. Let this stick. In our Constitution, it says, "We the people." Somewhere along the line, in the past 30 years, we the people have given up our power over our government, over our elected officials. We've turned it into a game, or at least we've let them turn it into a game, in which in part it falls on us. By electing people who speak pretty, who give false promises because it's what we want to hear, we have allowed our system to corrupt itself. Again, it says we the people. So whoever we put in our offices, they get paid $145,000 a year in salary just off being an elected official, because that is a privilege that we allow them to by putting them into office. But somehow we have let them turn it into a game where they can say what they gotta say to get in, and 4 years later, or what is every 2 years for like local Congress, I forget what it is. So every 4 years and every 2 years, and every mayor, every governor, congressman, when it comes time for election, they start repeating the same thing. They start throwing false, well, not false, but irrelevant numbers to make it seem as if they are doing a good job. Meanwhile, we are not benefiting at all. But somehow, the status quo out there keeps putting them in the office. Keeps putting them in office to do a mediocre job, when our forefathers made sure that we had the right, that if they were mediocre, we would take them out of office by simply voting. But now, you got the guy from New York, what was his name? Bloomberg, or was it Bloomberg? Somebody in the New York Congress. I think it was Congress. I'm sorry, I gotta look all this stuff up. I'm just going off the cuff right now because I'm trying to say hello again and get this on a more consistent basis. So, but I'll get you the name on that. But he basically changed the law that he can only serve twice and then get out. He turned it into serving 3 times. And we allowed him in New York. We, the people, allowed him to change the rules that were implemented so that no one can have that privilege and abuse it the way he did. Remember, a lot of these people get up in there and they start walking around and asking for favors and donations and partnering up with lobbyists. They start getting another income, start earning millions of dollars from somewhere else. And so they are no longer the person you voted in, the person that was relatable to you. They are now an elitist, and they think for their money. Not for your money, not for their people's money, but for their pockets. Another turn, I'm going to pivot to another subject, Twitter. I was reading a report where it says they're going to allow images that would be inappropriate, of showing kids in the nude or exploiting children. would not be considered against the Twitter's rule. So basically, in other words, let me break it down for you. They are allowing pedophilia to run its course on Twitter. I believe they call it the MAP people, the people of MAP, uh, minor attractive persons. What kind of sick shit is that? In California, there's been news reports and people on podcasts talking about that since they've been starting to dictate or at least call it a disease, an unwilling disease that a person cannot control. It's like you see with the LGBT community. It says number is not a concern for love, but in this picture, a silhouette, I'll look for it and I'll find it. It's a big silhouette, it's two silhouettes. One is of obviously an adult, and then the other silhouette is of someone that much smaller that could be considered a child, holding hands together with a big heart in the background with multiple colors of the LGBT. Like, I got family members that are gay, lesbian, and the ones that I've been able to speak on or speak about on this subject, they tell me, like, listen, I'm LGBT, but a lot of people have been hijacking our movement, and then you got other people of other interests, such as this, trying to kind of hide under the image of the LGBT flag and the LGBT organization. And they're not down with it, man. They're upset. Like, just like me, I am for whoever you decide to love. That's your business. Go on about it. You guys want to have kids together. I'm all for it. God bless you. But just if I don't ask for you to kind of promote it, don't promote it near me, or in front of me, unless it's something that I ask you about, and then of course. But a lot of the times you see these, you got ABC Family transformed into Freeform, which again they put in commercials. The guy that does makeup, one of them at least, because I've just found out from my daughters that there's more than two. And I got nothing against it, but just don't put it on a channel where it's designated for kids, because kids, at least my kids, as a parent, I should have the right to choose when I am ready to talk about that with them, and I should be allowed to dictate when they should see it. You know what I mean? I don't like the commercials on the TV, because if it's a children's channel, don't put it there, because there's millions of kids where parents need to put them down, watch some TV, let me start cooking, let me make lunch, let me jump in the shower for a few minutes because I need it. I have not eaten, I have not showered. Or even if the kid is old enough to where, not even old enough, where the parent is probably sitting down with their child and they happen to fall asleep because they've been parenting or adulting, as I like to say. And so they just happen to knock out. And their child comes unattended and runs into that on their own, with no one there to explain to them, son or daughter that is someone who chose that. That's not what we believe in. Or it's, oh, yeah, that's something that person chose. I believe in that. Or whatever your conversation, whatever your approach is, if you run into it with them, you had no choice, fine. Then you're obviously, you have to engage in that conversation and make sure that your child understands your point of view, your morals, your family, what you're trying to have as your point of view. Make sure that they understand it lovingly, kindly, and basically caring about how they will bring it up if they want to bring it up to one of their friends and how to approach it. You know, but don't rob the parents of that moment. Don't rob them of that opportunity, of that lesson that they can teach them, because at the end of the day, it's their child that they're trying to raise. That that's their child that they want to give that particular message or lesson to. One time I was with my kids. We went, my two boys there. They were 6 and 5. Well, 6 and 4. And so we are at the movies, and they do the Will and Grace reunion trailer, blah blah blah. And at the end of that trailer, I guess Will gets a kiss from the more flamboyant character of the series. And it's two guys, kind of, just kind of like a quick, what used to be a comedic kiss, from back in the old movies, when one man used to kind of smooch on to another man as a joke, like a funny take on it. And so my kids see it, and they turn to me, and they're like, "Wait, was that two guys? Was that two boys?" And immediately I had to, oh shit, like I wasn't ready for that. They're 6 and 4, man. Like, how am I supposed to tell them, like, that's their choice, that's what they believe, blah blah blah. Like, they're mad little. How are they gonna understand that? And so at the end of the day, it's not that I have anything against it, but that to me kind of shows a little bit of a lie. Anyways, it's a little bit of a lie, because they are kids. At the end of the day, they're not going to understand it. They're going to feel that that's the way to be. And what if that they feel that's the way to be is not what makes them happy? Because society pushes for, oh, it's okay, be this, be this, be this. And it works both ways. Suicide with kids that are trans, suicide with kids that are in the closet or come out too late. Like, even kids pressured, that they feel that they need to dance along those lines to be able to fit in, or it goes both ways. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. Thank you for coming by again and listening. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day. Catch you guys later.